Good morning, everybody. Pastor Nate Borman here, one of the pastors at my Lebanon Lutheran Church. It's garbage day here, so I'm trying to figure out where to do this in a little bit of a quiet place to share a daily devotional thought with you, a word from our God about wisdom. We're in the book of Proverbs right now. We're in Proverbs chapter 10. And one of the things that's going to be a little bit tough as we continue to make our way through the book of Proverbs right now is that we're getting into the section of Proverbs where we get a lot of topics. So he's going to talk about, when you read Proverbs chapter 10, you're going to find that Solomon talks about, he talks about how you use the tongue. He talks about how you use money. He talks about how you treat animals. He talks about how you make your plans. He talks about a lot of different topics. So that makes it really difficult to kind of narrow it down to one devotional thought. Today, I want to talk about the tongue. I want to talk about language. And one of the things that the Bible as a whole makes clear to us, you see this in James chapter 3 especially, really clearly, is that the tongue is really, really hard to control. And so when Solomon speaks to us in Proverbs 10 and in other places throughout the book of Proverbs, you start to see there's a right way and a wrong way, a good way and a bad way, a wise way and a foolish way, a God-pleasing way and a God-displeasing way to use your tongue. And what you find, I think you find this to be true in your own personal experience, that using the tongue in the right way and a good way all the time is really tough. James chapter 3 says it's actually impossible. In fact, he says if you can actually do it, like, that's amazing. If you want some extra reading, look at James chapter 3, where James talks about the tongue. I want to ask the question this morning, what makes it so hard, though, to control the tongue? It's this little, as James says, it's this little bitty part of our body, and yet it's that one thing that gets us maybe into more trouble than anything else in our lives. What is it that makes our tongues so hard to control? And I guess I would suggest a couple of things to you this morning about what makes it so hard to control the tongue. One is, I think sometimes, especially in these days, we're just tired. We're having so many different conversations. We're tired of the news. We're tired of the conversation. We're just tired. We're tired of making decisions. And what that does to us is it makes self-control, which controlling the tongue needs, makes controlling the tongue really, really difficult. So I would say that one of the things that makes it hard to control the tongue is we're tired. Another thing that makes controlling the tired, and when I say tired, I want to back up. When I say tired, I mean physically. We're physically tired. We're just exhausted, which makes controlling anything more difficult. Secondly, we're also emotionally tired, and so we're tired of dealing with things. We're also, I think this ties into emotional weariness, but along with emotional weariness comes also we're frustrated and angry and troubled. There's the garbage man, right? So when we're frustrated, when we're angry, when we're troubled by, it doesn't even have to be about the matter at hand, but if there's something else going on in your life, maybe you've noticed this before, that when something troubling is going on in another part of your life, it just kind of bubbles over into the way you use your language. So we're tired, we're emotionally whooped. We're emotionally tired of just dealing with so many different things right now, that when it comes to controlling our tongue in this or that situation, it's just more difficult, because when you're tired, it's more difficult to be in control. But the real reason is that, and why do we speak out of turn? Why do we speak out in an unloving way? Why do we lash out with our tongue? Why do we say things that are unloving, that are unwise, that are foolish, that are evil, that are hurtful? It's not just a symptom of being tired. It's the symptom of a messed up heart. Jesus said to his disciples in Luke chapter 6, he says, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when you speak, you're really showing what's going on in your heart. And granted, sometimes we can cover that up. Sometimes we have evil intent and evil thoughts and evil feelings in our hearts, but we're able to keep those hidden. But a lot of times what comes out of our mouth is actually showing what's in our hearts. And that's a really scary thing. So Why is it so difficult to control our hearts? Because we have a sinful heart inside us. And it's not just sinful. I know you're a child of God. I'm a child of God. What you see when ugly things come out of your mouth, and sinful, unwise, unloving things come out of your heart, is out of your mouth. You're seeing that struggle in your heart between your old man and your sinful nature, and your new man, the child of God person inside you. So how do we fix it? Actually, I think the answer to that question is we don't. You and I, we don't have the power in us to change our hearts. We don't have the power. That's why we can't control our tongues, because we can't change our hearts. We don't have the power, right? We can't go to rehab and fix our hearts. We can't reform our hearts. What we really need, is a resurrection. We need God's Spirit to come and kill our sinful heart and raise up a new heart in us. We don't need a reformation. We don't need rehab. We need a resurrection. We need God's Spirit to come and give us a new heart and make us alive. That's what David prays for in Psalm 51. Create in me a new heart, O God, right? So he's asking God, I can't do this. I'm incapable and unable on my own. So God, you must do it. See, if we really want to learn how to use our tongue in the right way, there is a measure of self-control, a measure of discipline, a measure of wisdom. But that begins with a new heart that's given by the Spirit. And when the Spirit does that, then we can begin to follow wisdom, right? Proverbs 10, 20 and 21. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart, notice how he says it, the heart of the wicked is of little value. The lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for lack of sense. Then the words we use, right? When God gives us a new heart, then what comes out of our heart is going to be a blessing to other people. Then what comes out of our mouth is going to feed and nourish and help and serve other people. So how do we control our tongue? Well, it starts with God giving us a new heart. It starts with God killing our old heart and raising up a new heart within us. And so pray for that today. Pray that God in his love for you would come this morning and make your heart new, so that you can rise up and speak words that will encourage, that will help, that will nourish, that will serve other people. Because today you are the Lord's child. He has given you his Spirit, and he's given you words on your lips to encourage, build up, and nourish many people. So the Lord go with you into this day and be with you. Have a great day, everybody. The Lord be with you all.